Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving deep into the world of one of Marvel's first and most underrated vampires. We all know the Blade movies with Wesley Snipes. You know the line, "Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill." Classic. But today I want to talk about something a little different, something that a lot of people don't even know exists. I'm talking about the 2006 television series, Blade the Series. This show was a massive experiment. It was Spike TV's first big scripted drama. It had the guy who wrote the Dark Knight trilogy behind it, and it completely recast the lead role. It premiered to huge ratings, and then it vanished. It got canceled after just one season and has basically become a forgotten footnote in Marvel history. So what happened? Was it actually any good? And why, in this age of Marvel rebooting everything, does nobody talk about this show? Let's grab some garlic and silver-tipped bullets and find out. The context: post-Trinity and a new Blade. First, we have to set the scene. It's 2006. The Blade movie trilogy had just wrapped up with Blade Trinity in 2004. That movie wasn't great, but it left the door open. At the end, Blade uses the Daystar virus, a biological weapon meant to wipe out vampires. Now, the TV show picks up after that. We learn that the Daystar virus didn't spread as fast as everyone thought, so the vampire houses are still very much in business. But here's the first and biggest hurdle for the show. Wesley Snipes wasn't coming back. There was a whole legal battle happening with New Line Cinema, so they had to find a new Blade. And the guy they cast? Rapper Kirk Sticky Fingaz Jones from the group Onyx. And honestly, it's a different vibe. Snipes was all cool, stoic martial arts precision. Sticky Fingaz plays Blade as more of a brutal, grunting, almost animalistic force of nature. In an interview, Sticky said he didn't want to make people forget the movies, but he wanted to put his own spin on it. He said, and I'm paraphrasing here, "It's the same meat, just different seasoning." And you know what? That's a pretty good way to put it. The plot, not just a monster of the week. So, if Blade isn't the main character we follow for the emotional arc of the show, who is? That's where the show actually did something really smart. The real star of Blade the series is a character named Krista Starr, played by Jill Wagner. Krista is a soldier returning from Iraq to find that her twin brother Zach has died under mysterious circumstances. She investigates and discovers that Zach was actually a familiar, a human servant to vampires, and that he was actually working as a double agent for Blade when he was killed. Her investigation leads to Marcus Van Sciver, a powerful vampire who runs the Detroit operation for the House of Coffin. Marcus is played brilliantly by Neil Jackson. He's charming, ruthless, and he takes a liking to Krista, so much so that he turns her into a vampire. Just as she's turning, Blade shows up and injects her with his serum, the same stuff he takes to control his own vampiric urges. This gives her enough control to fight the bloodlust. Blade reveals that her brother was working for him and offers her a chance to finish the job, go undercover inside the House of Coffin and help him take down Marcus. So the whole show becomes this gritty undercover drama. It's the Sopranos or Wise Guy with vampires. Krista has to maintain her cover while struggling with her new predatory nature, and Blade is on the outside trying to use her intel to strike. It gave the show a serialized feel that was pretty ahead of its time for basic cable. The villain and the Aurora Project. And the villain isn't just a mustache-twirling evil guy. Marcus has a plan. On the surface, he's developing a vaccine to make vampires immune to sunlight, silver, and garlic. But here's the twist. He's actually working on the Aurora Project, a virus that does the exact opposite. It specifically targets and kills purebloods, vampires who were born vampires, while leaving turnbloods, vampires who used to be human, completely unharmed. His plan is to use this virus to wipe out the old-school vampire ruling class so that he, a turned vampire, can take over. It's a really cool class warfare angle that the movies only touched on, and it all culminates in a vampire conclave in the finale, where Blade actually ends up helping Marcus unleash the virus to wipe out the purebloods. It's a great enemy of the enemy moment. The cool stuff, mythology, and deep cuts. For fans of the lore, this show is a goldmine. It really digs into the hierarchy of the vampire world. We learn there are 12 vampire houses. We get flashbacks to Blade's childhood and how his father tried to raise him. We even see a young Abraham Whistler, which is a cool nod for fans of the films. And the showrunners loved dropping Marvel references. In the pilot, when Krista is first learning about vampires, she sarcastically asks, "What's next, werewolves?" And the guy she's talking to says, "Werewolves are my colleague Mark Spector's area of expertise." That's a direct reference to Moon Knight, whose real name is Mark Spector, who first appeared in a comic called Werewolf by Night. It's a blink-and-a-miss-it moment for hardcore fans. They also had some great guest stars. Richard Roundtree, the original Shaft, plays Blade's father in flashbacks, and in one of those weird Hollywood connections, Sticky Fingers' real-life cousin and fellow Onyx member Krista Starr also showed up in an episode. The problems, budget, and comparisons. Okay, so if the plot is cool and the lore is deep, why did it fail? Well, there are a few big reasons. First, the budget. This was 2006 on Spike TV. They didn't have Disney Plus money. The action scenes, they're okay, but compared to the movies, they feel small. You can tell they saved money on CGI for the vampires turning to ash by having lots and lots of scenes of people talking in rooms. One reviewer described it as a vampire-related drama instead of a comic book action show because they couldn't afford the action. Second, the lead. Look, I like Sticky Fingers. He's intense, but he's not Wesley Snipes. A lot of critics and fans just couldn't get past that. He mumbles a lot of his lines, and his fighting style is more brawling than the slick martial arts we were used to. He's trying to do his own thing, but the shadow of the movies was just too long. The ratings and the cancellation. Despite these issues, the show actually premiered huge. The 2-hour pilot pulled in 2.5 million viewers, which at the time was the biggest premiere in Spike TV history. People were curious, but those numbers dropped off fast. The audience just didn't stick around. By September, Spike had pulled the plug. The official reason, high production costs and the ratings just weren't there to justify it. There's also a fascinating what if here. Before Spike picked it up, Showtime was actually going to produce the series, and Wesley Snipes was attached to star. It was going to be a loose adaptation of the comics, with Mark Singer playing a character called Bible John. But Snipes dropped out due to his lawsuit, and the whole thing fell apart. So what we got on Spike was essentially Plan B. Conclusion. So is Blade the series worth watching in 2026? Honestly, if you're a completionist or a huge fan of the Blade lore, yes. It's an interesting time capsule. It's dark, it's gritty, and it tries to do something different with the franchise by focusing on a new character. You can see the DNA of what modern prestige superhero TV could become. But if you're looking for the sleek, high-octane action of the movies, you might be disappointed. It's a product of its time, with all the good and bad that entails. It's crazy to think that this show exists, and now, almost 20 years later, we're still waiting for the Mahershala Ali Blade movie to actually happen. It just shows that no matter how hard Hollywood tries, the Daywalker is a tough character to nail outside of those first 2 movies. But hey, at least we have the memories of Sticky Fingers growling his way through Detroit, right? If you remember watching this show when it aired, let me know in the comments below. What did you think of it? And would you want to see Sticky Fingers cameo in the new MCU Blade as a different character? Let's discuss. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.